Alright, so we're back here with the HPI Racing RS4 3 Nitro Drift, and this is a really fun car to drive. They did a little bit different weight distribution by centering the motor, so that's the difference between this and the Evo 3. I actually did one of my first YouTube videos with this E30. A lot of fun to drift these around. There's some differences that I'll go over. Obviously the body and wheels, as well as under the hood. So let's look at the E30 first. Looks like the previous owner didn't center that badge logo there. That's alright. Under the hood is completely bone stock, except for this fuel filter here. Servos are the same. Everything is how I got it. So yeah, like I said, the only thing I think I really did to this was put the roof rack on the body with the tech deck. Kerry Getz, he's one of the best for sure. Even though he used to get really mad. Anyways, yeah. There's no issues with the functioning of this vehicle, at least when I ran it last years ago. But one of the issues I did have was that one of the screws keeps coming out of the steering block. So I think that the threads in the block itself are worn, and that would be why the screw keeps backing out. So, as well as going over these two cars themselves, I decided to break out the RS4 parts stash and just kind of go over that, and maybe we can find a replacement steering block and get this E30 running. So this is what I've got. Bunch of gears and adapters, clutch bells, 2-speed clutches, a couple of carburetors, a bunch of little fastening bits. Bunch of different shocks. This is all Sport 3 stuff, aside from this. And got some engine mounts. Just miscellaneous stuff. These are older blocks, but not what I need. So really honestly interested in what's in this stash box. I've gone in here a few times just to put this back over here, see what was going on. This looks like MT stuff. Got some gears, a couple of new belts. I opened this one. Oh, these are nice. These are hard to find. Transmission stuff, gear hub, some dog bones, some differential stuff, bumpers. I think this is an Evo 3 top deck. Yeah. Nice. Silver chassis. This is what I was really looking for, to see if I have any differential stuff. See if I have any of the steering blocks I can borrow. I don't think I do. 2-speed transmission, nice. That should clean right up. Another chassis. Don't remember, is this one bent? No, it's not bent. Forgot I had this. That's useful. So I don't have any blocks, so I'll show you what I do in the case where I think there's some stripped plastic. Alright, so I just pulled this screw out and made sure I could get the same screw for the bottom, and then I put this back in to make sure that the threads weren't stripped on the top of this hub. So let's get it installed on the bottom, and we'll see if the threads stop or if they keep going. I would say that's stripped for sure. Should have stopped by now. So it'll stay in there, but it's just gonna back right out. So let me show you guys what I do in that situation. Alright, so when working on this area, just be careful not to lose these sleeves, because these are hard to replace. So obviously this was the top one, but with gravity it fell. So I just wanted to show you what the screw hole looks like on the top versus the bottom. This one's fine, and you can see that the bottom, let me flip the car on the side. You can see that the bottom is just completely chewed out. Looks like the screw was ripped out. Maybe the car was crashed, maybe I crashed it, I don't remember. But what I would do to fix that, or what I do to fix that, is I'll take a piece of cut up zip tie and I'll snip it to size and put it in the hole so that there is some other fresh plastic to grip, so that way the screw can go in as it should. This has worked before, so I'm gonna go ahead and test this theory here on this car so that way I can continue to drive it. I do remember this continuing to happen no matter what I did, so I think that's why it sat on the shelf for so long. So it'll be nice to get this thing going. The weight distribution of it, you know, the weight of the Nitro car itself plus the engine being in the middle, it slides around like a dream. So I'm also noticing that this one has the adjustable camber links, so I'll try to set that so that the car doesn't drift one side of the wheel more than the other like it's doing. This tire, you know, now that I think about it, now that I look at it, I probably did crash the car. That's what caused that. But this tire is kind of sliding out as well, so I might have to get a new set of wheels on it, or pop these tires off and put new tires on these wheels. But let's get this issue solved so that screw doesn't keep falling out before we do any more. Alright, so here we are, and this is what I was talking about by taking a zip tie and just jamming it in and using the plastic from the end of the zip tie to fill in the stripped threads in the plastic. I did my best. I tightened it adequately, and it seems as though there's enough grab there for this to hold. I'll have to test it. to see that it works, but in theory it should work. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to trim the zip tie to be flush, so that way there's no interference with the drive cup, and we'll get this reinstalled and we should have a runner. Real quick, just before I fasten it up, this is the zip tie I used here to the left, and you can see how much material is missing, and it's just enough to have threaded in there, and you can see that I trimmed it to be flush. You can see a little bit of orange there, and that gives the screw just enough bite so that way it shouldn't back out in theory. So that may help you in the future. Just something that we have to do this time. Unfortunately, I don't have a replacement part. Obviously, this is a last resort, so let's see if this little makeshift mod holds up. And just like that, we're able to drive this car. So the test will be whether or not that extra material from the zip tie holds up on the bottom of the steering block. So that's awesome. I knew it wasn't going to be hard to fix. It was just a matter of doing it. It's a great looking car. So that's what's under the hood here on the BMW. So let's see what's going on under this Mitsubishi Lancer. The bodies were dusty as these have been sitting for a while, but I had already cleaned those off, so looking shiny. But this is what's going on under the hood here. I have an OS 18 in there, and I did some off-net throttle linkage. I actually had to cut this out for that to fit. So this is pretty dirty. So I think I had a piece of exhaust that actually came down and went out. I don't remember exactly. It's been so long since I've driven this car. But these tires are actually like harder rubber. They're pretty solid. They're from RC World. They're on eBay, and they're actually I don't know what the terminology is, but they're two pieces. The face of the rim screws into the rim itself where the tire goes. So it was actually kind of annoying to build these, but the results are always worth it. You can see, let me move this over. Just want to show you. It's pretty hard. So, I've only driven this once or twice with these tires. I didn't get to warm them up all the way and really enjoy it. The parking lot actually was kind of crummy. And I actually drove my Fortec on that parking lot, and that's part of why one of the bumpers on them is so messed up, because it drove into a bump, did a front flip, landed, and kept going. It was something you'd see out of a movie. But yeah, that parking lot sucked, so that's why I didn't get to drive that much. You can see it's pretty filthy back here, but I already cleaned the inside of the body. I don't remember anything being wrong with it per se, so yeah, I don't know why that is down on the carb needle or carb linkage. I might mess around and try to put a different linkage there. I'll see how it works and see if it's worth messing around with. But that's what's under the hood here with the Mitsubishi. This is a great car overall. And I don't remember any issues with this one. Some people put 2 speeds in there. I don't think that's necessary, just because I'm going to be spinning the tires. No need to do it at a higher RPM if the single speed can do that for you. So I was thinking about putting this on another car and using a 350Z body on here, but I like the way this came out, so I'm gonna keep using it. I used Traxxas paint on this. It was a translucent blue. I forget what I backed it with, but it's starting to chip, and that's kind of annoying. So it's right there on both sides, right under the word evolution. So this may end up being a basher body. I hope it doesn't chip all the way all around. I hope it just happens in that little bit that it started already and doesn't do more, but we'll see. So those are the Nitro Drift RS4s. Now that the steering block issue is solved in the E30, I can drive that and test it out, and I will take out the Lancer as well to test out those wheels now that I've got a nice lot to drive on. So stay tuned. We'll be looking forward to driving these cars. There shouldn't be any issues, and if there are, we'll figure it out, and we'll figure out how to solve it. So thanks for checking it out. Thanks for your interest in Nitro, and we'll be seeing you with more cool stuff like this.